Parenting is when one layer dictates the transform parameters of another layer. Expressions, on the other hand, are a way to control properties using code. While expressions can be very complex, what we will learn in this chapter will serve as a basis to what I hope will be a long relationship between you and expressions. Let's go ahead and start by creating a new composition. So just click on the new composition icon here at the bottom of the project panel. NTSC-DV is fine, all of these settings are fine, and even make it 5 seconds, that's all good. Click OK. Let's go ahead and make a couple of shapes here. Grab the rectangle tool. And there you go, that's one, and I'm just going to duplicate that. Control or Command D duplicates it. Go ahead and select it, and let's change the color of that one to maybe a darker blue. And let's duplicate it just once more. Click on it, Control or Command D, and let's change the color of that one to a yellow or so. There you go. I'm going to name the first one yellow, so just click on the layer name, press the Return or Enter key, and I'm just going to type yellow. The next one is the blue, dark blue. And the last one is a light blue. And there you go. Let me make these visible again. Let's grab the selection tool and move these around. Let's say here, here, and here. There you go. To use parenting, we have to have one parent layer and we need to have one child layer. In After Effects, you choose who the parent is. One parent layer can have many children, but a child layer can only have one parent. Let's go ahead and make the dark blue the parent of the yellow and the light blue. So let me go ahead and change this layer stacking order. There you go. There's a couple of ways in which you can choose the parent of a layer. Let's go ahead and select both the yellow and the light blue. Select one, press and hold Shift, then select the other one. There's a parent column here on the right. If you do not see this parent column, go ahead and right-click on any area here in the columns. Choose Columns, Parent. Right, so let me go ahead and select that again. There's a drop-down menu here. You can go ahead and select the dark blue. And now dark blue is the parent of both yellow and light blue. You can also choose the pick whip. In other words, you can click on this little squiggly line and you can drag to the layer name, and that assigns the parent to the layer. The pick whip, it's a way that we have of assigning relationships in between layers and or properties really quickly. We see them in other Adobe products like in Anchor DVD and, of course, in After Effects, in which all you need to do is click on the pick whip icon and drag, and see there's a line connecting the tip of the arrow to the actual pick whip, and now we have established relationship between those layers. In this case, a parenting relationship. A little bit later on, we will be using the pick whip with expressions. To deselect the parenting, press and hold the Control or Command key and click on the pick whip. And there you go. See, now it reads None. Let me go ahead and assign the parenting again. There you go. This is what parenting does. It affects all transform properties. A for anchor point. If I modify one, the parent and the children get modified. P for position. Same thing here. R for rotation. Notice they're rotating around the axis of the parent layer. S for scale. And about the only transform property that does not get affected by parenting is opacity. T for opacity. And as you notice, the parent is getting transparent, but not the children. Let's go ahead and unparent them. Press and hold the Control or Command key and click on the pick whip. Now, if you would like to parent these and have the children assume the transform parameters of the parent, all you need to do is press and hold the Alt or Option key while you're parenting. And there you go. The same thing happens when you unparent. They go back to their original one. Let's go ahead and choose None here. There you go. Let me go ahead and delete all of these layers and let me start a new solid. Control or Command Y. Green is good. Control or Command Y again, and let's make this one yellow. Click OK, and now click OK here. So we have a yellow solid and we have a green solid. Go ahead and resize this about yay. And the green one about yay. All right, so I'm going to make the green the parent of the yellow. So I'll grab the pick whip of the yellow and point to the green, and there you go. This is what happens when I do keyframes for the rotation parameters of the green. I'll make it go around just once. And let's go ahead and do a RAM preview. 0 on your numeric keypad. There you go. I can also rotate the yellow around its own axis. The problem occurs here. When I start doing the rotation of the yellow starts skewing. The reason for that is because we are not consistent in the relationship between height and width between the two layers. This is easily solved by using a null object. To create a null object, go to Layer, New, Null Object. What we need to do is parent the yellow to the null and the null to the green, and now what we have is the null object parented in between the two other layers, and that takes care of that deformation that was happening before. I must say at this point that this doesn't always work, but it will work in most of the cases. So keep in mind that if you see one of the layers becoming deformed, just put a null object in there and it should fix it. You can also use the null object to control many layers at the same time. So let's go ahead and delete these. Select them all and press the delete key. And let's just create several objects. Just going to duplicate this 3 or 4 times. And they can all be yellow, doesn't really matter. Position them close enough to that. Let's create a new null object, Layer, New, Null Object. And let's parent all of these layers to the null object. R for rotation. Let's give it rotation keyframes. Let's change the first value to a 1 for a full revolution. And actually, let's do the same with all of these. R for rotation. Place the CTI at the beginning. Keyframe. Let's go to where the other keyframe is for the null object. And let's give it just 1 rotation, 1 full revolution. Let's end the work area bar here. Press N on the keyboard and do a RAM preview. That's 0 on your numeric keypad. Now they're all rotating around the axis of the null object, and they're also rotating around their own axis. So the use of a null object when it comes to parenting is very, very common. We also use parenting a lot when it comes to 3D compositions, but more on that later.